In the shadowed heart of 1830s, Virginia, where the sun burned hot on tobacco fields and the chains of slavery bound souls, a story unfolded, one of love, defiance, and unimaginable sacrifice. This is the tale of Sarah, an enslaved woman whose heart dared to love where it was forbidden and who paid the ultimate price for it. Her story, though whispered in fear, echoes through time, a testament to the human spirit's unyielding will. The Thornton plantation sprawled across rolling hills, its white-columned manor gleaming like a false promise. Enslaved men and women toiled under the overseer's lash, their sweat watering the earth. Sarah, barely 20, worked in the big house. Her hands polished silver, her eyes downcast, but her mind was sharp, her spirit unbroken. She'd been born here. Her mother sold away when she was a child. The Thorntons owned her body, but not her dreams. She sang softly as she worked, old songs of rivers and freedom, her voice a quiet rebellion. James Thornton, the master's only son, was different. At 22, he carried a restless air, his blue eyes troubled by the world he'd inherited. He'd read books of liberty, heard whispers of abolition in Richmond's taverns. One spring evening, as Sarah carried linens through the garden, James spoke to her, not as a master, but as a man. "Why do you sing?" he asked. She froze, then answered, "To remember I'm alive." Their eyes met, and in that moment, a dangerous spark ignited. Over months, stolen moments grew. James sought Sarah in the quiet of the laundry shed, the shade of the oak grove. They spoke of stars, of worlds beyond the plantation's iron gates. Sarah taught him her mother's songs. He shared poetry, forbidden to her. Their love was a secret kept in whispers, a fragile thread in a world that would tear it apart. But love, even in chains, is a force that defies reason. Sarah knew the risk, yet her heart would not yield. Secrets in a slave-holding house are brittle. A maid, fearing the overseer's whip, betrayed them. Master Thornton's rage shook the manor. "My son with a slave?" he roared. James was confined to his room, his books burned. Sarah was dragged to the cellar, her wrists bound. The overseer's voice was cold. "You'll learn your place." The lash fell, but Sarah's silence was her defiance. She would not name James, would not break their bond, even as pain seared her. Master Thornton summoned the plantation's preacher, a man whose Bible justified cruelty. "This sin must be purged," he declared. Sarah was no longer a woman, but a symbol of rebellion to be crushed. James, slipping free, knelt by her in the dark cellar. "I'll save you," he whispered, but Sarah knew better. "There's no saving me, James. Save yourself." Her words were love's final gift, a plea for him to live even if she could not. There was no true trial, only a spectacle. The county's elite gathered, their faces masks of righteous fury. Sarah stood in the courthouse square, her dress torn, her eyes steady. The charge, corrupting the master's son, defying God's order. No defense was allowed. Her voice was silenced. James, restrained by his father's men, shouted her innocence, but his words were drowned by the crowd's jeers. The verdict was swift, death by burning. They built the pyre in the town square, a grim altar of wood and straw. Sarah was led through a jeering mob, her hands tied. The preacher's voice boomed, calling her a sinner, but Sarah's gaze was on the horizon, where the sun dipped low. She sang her mother's song, soft and clear, as the flames were lit. The crowd fell silent, haunted by her courage. James held back, wept as the fire rose, her voice fading into the smoke. Sarah's death was meant to restore order, but it sowed unease. Whispers spread among the enslaved. Sarah had defied them, even in death. James vanished that night, some say to the north, carrying her songs in his heart. The Thornton plantation faltered, its fields cursed by her memory. Master Thornton grew gaunt, haunted by the fire he'd ordered. The preacher's sermons rang hollow, his flock dwindling. Sarah had no children, but her story birthed rebellion. Enslaved women sang her songs, their voices weaving a tapestry of resistance. In cabins and fields, her name became a prayer, a reminder that love could spark defiance. Abolitionists in Richmond spoke of her, their pamphlets carrying her tale to the north. Sarah's fire burned beyond her death, a light that could not be quenched. In the 1830s, Virginia's slaveholders clung to power, but the ground was shifting. Nat Turner's rebellion had shaken them, and Sarah's story added fuel to the growing fire. Abolitionist presses printed her tale, though they never knew her true name. In the North, free black communities honored her, their churches holding vigils. Her love, her sacrifice, became a call to action, a wound that exposed slavery's rot. Sarah and James's love was a fleeting dream, crushed by a world that saw her as property, not a woman. Their story asks us, what is love in a place where humanity is denied? Sarah chose love, knowing it would cost her life. Her courage forces us to reckon with the past, to see the scars of those who loved, fought, and died under slavery's yoke. Her fire was not just her end, but a spark for those who came after. Enslaved women like Sarah faced horrors we can scarcely imagine. Their bodies were owned, their children sold, their loves forbidden. Yet they resisted, in songs, in secret, in acts of defiance that cost them everything. Sarah's story is one of many, a thread in the tapestry of survival. She reminds us that even in the darkest times, the human heart seeks light, seeks love, seeks freedom, no matter the price. Today, we stand far from 1830s Virginia, but Sarah's story demands we listen. Slavery's shadow lingers in our world, in inequalities, in silences. To honor Sarah is to see her not as a victim, but as a woman who loved fiercely, who sang as the flames rose. We must carry her story, speak her name, and work for a world where no one is bound, where love is not a crime. Her fire burns in us, if we dare to feel it. As the sun sets on this tale, imagine Sarah's voice, carried on the wind, singing of rivers and freedom. Her life was brief, her love forbidden, her death a spectacle of cruelty. Yet she is not gone. She lives in every act of courage, every song of resistance, every heart that refuses to be chained. Speak her story, sing her songs, let her fire light the way to a better world for Sarah and for all who loved in the face of impossible odds. This is the story of Sarah, the slave woman who was burned alive for loving the Master's son. Her name is our charge, her courage our legacy. Let us never forget. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share the video. I will see you in the next one. Same time tomorrow.